let's get into this skladoo. So, coming off the old modern warrior drama, a couple of TikTokers are now finally like coming forward and giving their perspectives on it. I think Ryan's given his perspective once or twice on it. I'm still going to watch his video on it. And then, of course, there's the Aunt Karen fallout. It's going to be a lot of fun, very poggers. Now, of course, it's not on her main channel because she's basically scrubbed that channel of anything to do with Modern Warrior as she continues to plug her OnlyFans content. That's probably a smart business move because I think at this point her account has very much become very shallow, and it always has been, but the confidence to continue to make shallow content is not there. And I'm saying that not so much as an insult, but more as just a point of empathy because I've been there. You hit a point where you find your groove on TikTok, and a lot of times finding your groove means you whether it's intentional or not, you kind of give up who you were originally as a content creator. You start as a good content creator, and then whatever your topic of conversation is, you kind of run out of things to talk about, and you have one or two options: to talk about something else or talk about nothing. That's three options: talk about something else, talk about nothing, or create content that you don't need to. Now, that doesn't really work really well in the commentary sphere because you start virtue signaling about ridiculous things like saying that picnics are racist, like she's saying here, which is a trend in her content. But I've been there as well, and so I can't go too hard on it. So you get to a point where you finally get hit hard enough to realize, like, wow, my content sucks and it's dishonest. And I think that Aunt Karen has hit that point, and of course I've hit that as well. And now when I don't have anything to talk about, I'll just watch stupid ass videos and I'll put them on my Papa Got Leftovers channel, which is a lot of fun. You should probably go check that out. So anyway, she scrubbed everything clean. Now she's moving over to OnlyFans. I'm not going to do an OnlyFans-aroo. Okay, that'd be very uncomfortable. Not because she's like unattractive or anything, but it's a difference between me watching Nick Avocado's OnlyFans versus somebody else's. It's a little weird, I think, for me as a man to do that. I don't know. Although that's a good point. If I want to support black-owned business, I have to buy her OnlyFans. Yeah, I mean that doesn't mean I have to review it live for you guys. Anyway, let's watch Ryan first. Of course, because Ryan's white, and we have to start with white people because that's just the natural order of the world. It's a joke. We're going to do it first because he has one video, and there's 3 Aunt Karen videos that are going to be like 10 minutes or something. So let's just start. It's like a minute.
The thing that frustrates me about the whole Modern Warrior situation is it feels like people aren't viewing this from an intersectional perspective.
Okay.
Because I feel like it is simultaneously true that Modern Warrior has been misogynistic and Chelsea has been racist.
I don't think that Chelsea's been racist. I think that I just disagree with Chelsea being racist. So the whole scenario is this: Modern Warrior lied to a bunch of girls so that they would sleep with him. That's pretty much what happened. He said that he was single, blah blah blah, wasn't talking to other people, got them to fly out and buy him stuff and sleep with him. What's going on out? Crazy shit going on outside my window. Anyway, there are multiple girls came forward. I think 2 actually. They look very similar. One of them was very level-headed, said this was really shitty, and I'm disappointed, and Lance is an asshole. Very reasonable. And it shows that Lance is a disingenuous fuck. We need to realize that. If you make your entire content foundation about respecting women and people of color, and we'll go specifically with the women aspect here, you set yourself to a higher standard. There's a difference between being a fuckboy and being a fuckboy who says that they respect women. You cannot be a fuckboy who respects women. That just doesn't work, okay? Being a fuckboy means you manipulate women into having sex with you. You're a douchebag. You're like, hey, let's fuck, Now, obviously, so that just shows that, like, Modern Warrior has just completely shallow, stupid content. Like, you can't trust him anymore, all right? You just can't. Now, you probably never should have. It's weird because I've always profiled him as a fake performative, feminist male feminist. Thank you so much for the gift of soul. I'm going to play that after. Sorry, brother. I've always, profiled him as like a performative feminist male who really just utilizes that to get social credit. And of course I was right. However, Chelsea's reaction was way over the top. She effectively said that he sexually assaulted her in some capacity and made a bunch of, it was fucking insane. Do I think that the motivation was race though? No, I don't. I think that she's fucking insane. If you've seen some of her videos of her like simping for Lance, it's uncomfortable, and I'm surprised that Lance even fucked her in the first place. Listen, as a man, we've all been there. We fucked a crazy girl before. I'm sure girls have been there as well, but You knew you shouldn't have before you did it, and then you end up regretting it. It's fucking crazy. Does she now she might fetishize she might specifically fetishize native people or indigenous people, but I don't think that she said, hey, an indigenous guy fucked me over, so I'm gonna cry rapist. I think that she would do that to anybody because she's a scum fuck piece of shit. Okay, so that I don't think that there's a racial element there. I know the white girl tears, I've talked about them before multiple times. White girl tears, it's not necessarily so much like, I know because I'm white, people will listen more. It's more of a feedback loop as you grow up, that like if you're a young white attractive woman, you get better reception on crying than black people. That's pretty much it. But I don't think that there was any I don't think that she was intentionally trying to do that. I think, or because he's indigenous, I think that she just was upset and she had a disproportionate response, which is shitty. So
on Modern Warrior's side, he would virtue signal that we need to treat women with respect, while he was taking advantage of them and lying to them and cheating on them behind the scenes.
Now, you have to understand, technically, Modern Warrior was respecting women. Think about it, okay? Think about it like this. Let's say I had a dog. Let's say I had a dog here. My dog. All right. Let's say I had a dog. I'm going to draw a dog. Let's say I had a dog here, right? A nice little puppy dog. I don't know what's going on here. That's supposed to be like the nose. I don't know what the fuck this is. Let's say I had a dog. I would respect that dog. But obviously I'm going to feed the dog on the floor. I'm going to put the water on the floor. You know? I'm going to spray it with water if it pees on the couch. I'm not going to let it on the couch. Because I respect that dog, but dogs are beneath people. And what you have to understand is that Modern Warrior was respecting women, but he just knows that women are less than men. So that the way that you respect a woman is in a different way. You know what I mean? You don't want to give them too much information about your life or your relationships, because then they're fragile. Woman brains can't handle it. It's too much information to process. So you can't really be honest with women because they can't handle it. It's just like a brain fucking meltdown. Because after all, if you're honest with women, a lot of times they won't have sex with you. And so, like, you can't be honest with their fragile emotional brains. So that's really where Modern Warrior was. That's really the point where Modern Warrior was coming from, where he was respecting women, but he was also understanding that women are second-class citizens. So, obviously, that doesn't interfere at all with being a male feminist.
Which is very misogynistic. But then on Chelsea's side, you have her throwing around accusations that being cheated on is the same thing as SA, and there is a long history of men of color having white women accusing them of SA when that is not the case. Moving forward, I think Modern Warrior is a misogynistic liar, and I'm never going to take anything he says seriously, but I'm also not going to take what Chelsea says seriously, because she has been weaponizing racism for her benefit. From an intersectional perspective...
That part's true. I'll say that part's true, because a lot of people online, there's a lot of performative activists online. There's a lot of them, and they pretend like they give a shit about people of color, but they don't respect them. And you gotta be careful about it. We call out like obvious points of like racism where it's like, yeah, I don't like black people, but bro, the performative activism, it's a very tricky thing to identify and understand the negative impacts of those types of things. And here's one of the ways you can identify a performative activist. It's so difficult to do, but I think that a lot of people of color probably heard this before, black people specifically. Have you ever heard a guy, usually a white guy or girl, and you ask them, what do they think of reparations, right? Now, a lot of times, there's a thing here. They'll ask, what do you think of reparations, right? Here you go, reparations, right? And there's two answers, right? There's usually yes or no, right? Or either you get your yes or your no. Now, I don't think it's necessarily racist to not be for reparations. Me personally, the reality is that like it's probably black people probably deserve it, but unfortunately, it's not the best thing from like a full societal perspective. You're better off targeting like poverty, you know. However, it's not relevant. We're gonna go with the yeses, right? Then there's two types of yeses. There's either yes, I believe in when you hear reparations, what's the first thing you think? It's money, pay out to black people. Like I said, they probably deserve it, but. Right? Money. They'll say, yes, they deserve that money. Now, some people actually believe that. They actually do think that it's possible. The reality, though, is a lot of them know that the reality is a lot of performative activists know that like we're never really going to make very quick progress for black people. And so they'll just say yes and say like, yeah, they deserve money, but they don't have to really, it doesn't really mean anything because they know it's never going to happen. It's never going to hurt their potential power structure within the system. It's impossible to identify this for the most part. How the fuck are you going to seed this out? Like, it's like, yeah, I believe in money to black people. Hey, fight the power. How do you determine that they're being performative? You cannot. It's part of the racism of performative action. But then here, some people that say yes, they'll say, yes, you deserve reparations. But when you press them on it, this is what they say. They say, I believe in attacking the systems that disproportionately impact black Americans. Now, I know a lot of people are sitting there like, okay, a lot of people buy into it. Now, I believe in this too. I mean, I believe in attack. Like, of course, prison system, drug system, all these systems that disproportionately negatively impact black people. Of course, I believe in reforming those. But is that reparations? Now, it might technically be reparations, but you know, and this is one of the interesting things, is that the majority of people who hear the word reparations, what they hear is money. That's how most people think. And so a lot of times, people who fancy themselves as intellectuals will say, I believe in reparations, so that they can signal to people of color that they believe in fighting for their struggle. But the second you push them on the ideology, they'll backpedal to, well, I just believe in fixing the prison system. But is that really a reparation? I don't think so. That's just a thing we should do because that benefits poor people, right? And like really think about it like this. I mean, getting rid of slavery was a system in America that disproportionately negatively impacted black Americans. Is that a reparation? Imagine approaching a black person. Yeah, you know, we gave you reparations when we freed you as slaves. Well, I don't think that that's a reparation. And this is like it's hard to figure out. Like, but are they being racist or are they just trying to be intellectual? Do they really are they really just trying to, you know, weaponize the emotions of black Americans? Or are they just fucking pseudo-intellectuals who like to use big words like reparations and go, well, technically reparations, you know? It's hard to identify. Ultimately, I think that the outcome of all this is we really do need to repeal the 19th Amendment. Yeah, thank you. Because women shouldn't have a vote. You're fucking so stupid. Anyway.
Men of color can still be misogynists, and white women can still be racist. I feel like the only correct take on this situation is that they're both in the wrong.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that for the most part. Again, I just don't think that, I don't know that she was necessarily being racist actively. It could be wrong, though. All right, here we go. Aunt Karen addresses the modern warrior drama. What is this? Is Aunt Karen a dentist? A dental person? This looks like the dental garb. I don't know. Anyway, let's get this going.
So, just so you, if you didn't see it.
Oh, I think we have that video. Because I think that's Modern Warrior's girlfriend or something. And here's a video that was that she deleted after talking about this. So basically it says, I don't know if this is going to get muted or not. But it says, clout chaser, backstabber, not a reliable source. So this is then an attempt from Modern Warrior. And this apparently is his girlfriend, to say that since Chelsea is not a good person, that means that the bad thing that they did doesn't exist. It's a way to attack the person making the accusation rather than to actually address the accusations. Modern Warrior still hasn't apologized, and he's a disingenuous fuck. Would I let Aunt Karen work in my mouth? Sure. God damn it. You're so stupid. Anyway. Yeah, it's a disingenuous move. Modern Warrior doesn't give a shit about women. Modern Warrior's just a fuckboy. He's a guy. He's a man. And it's shitty. Men need to be better. But at the end of the day, just stop pretending to give a shit about women. Anyway, let's see what Aunt Karen had to say in this deleted video. Don't like it. Oh.
From the beginning, I maintained that I didn't want to see another black woman hurt and used and manipulated.
Okay.
He didn't tell you he was married, did he? He didn't tell us.
Whoa, he didn't tell us either. So apparently, I guess Aunt Karen's confirming that Modern Warrior is married. Now, I don't know if this is misinformation or what, but she deleted that video. Anyway, that's what they're referring to. Let's continue. I mean, it's just kind of a lot of music. I don't really want to get the music pulled down. It looks like the person making the video, though, is censoring the other person's information to try to protect them from getting doxxed, which is fair. All right, anyway, here we go, Aunt Karen.
And in the caption, it says, trust of the innocent is the liar's most useful tool.
Okay.
And I
It's probably how you got so big, Karen.
I saw that and I saw her video, and I know she's talking about, you know, me and calling me a backstabber and a liar. And trust of the innocent is stating that Lance is innocent in this. And
I don't know that that's what she's necessarily saying. I think that what she's saying is it sounds more like what that person is saying is that Chelsea is a liar, but innocent people trusting innocent people believe what she's saying. I don't even think this has anything to do with Aunt Karen. I think that she's a little conceited, Aunt Karen, but okay.
and he's not. And he's utilizing another woman, another black woman, to do the same thing. As you can see, if you go to her page, the only person who's posting support and for this person is her. And it's again the same rhetoric where a black woman, him using another woman to leverage himself. And
why does the race really matter in this instance? I feel like it's a little bit of a shield. Like you know, I don't see the racial element in what Lance is doing, other than being attracted to white women, and I guess being ashamed of it. I don't know.
Into a better position and to hide what he doesn't really want to come out to say. I talked to Lance before about respecting black women. When he came after when the Afro-Indigenous people were really, really upset, I said, you know, listen, you have to respect that black women, you know, what black women and what black men, you know, what go through to be legitimized and recognized even as Indigenous people. And he seemed to have agreed, and he took the video down, and he and issued that apology. That being said, I also want people to know that a lot of Lance's apologies and a lot of those things were not him writing them himself. Those were things that, once again, he leaned on other people for support. So when Chelsea said that she supported him and wrote the apology for the Jewish community, I 100% believe that, because I helped him apologize for when he offended the Afro-Indigenous community.
Okay.
I was told a lot of things about Lance that I soon realized that I did not like. And
what's that?
If you once again look at this situation, he is again hiding behind silence of not having to answer for his transgressions by trying to
I didn't know he was trans. All right.
Pretend that he's going to do this big lawsuit. And it doesn't sit well with me to see another black woman and another woman fall on the sword for somebody who is not caring of them. One of the things that I was told by Chelsea was that he did not care for interracial relationships when it came to children or having children. And that was something that
I believe he said that. I don't doubt that Warrior said that. Just because Chelsea is a shitty person doesn't mean that she's lying. Now, it's all hearsay. There's always some truth in everybody's bullshit. She might be telling the truth. She also might be lying, but I don't doubt it, because Modern Warrior is racist. Like, I need you guys to understand that. He makes, like, the whole hate colonizer thing in general is racist. This whole idea that, like, all white people are colonizers and that, like, they actively want people to be oppressed is, like, it's racist. If you want to fucking like, well, technically it's prejudice because you can't be shut the fuck up. First of all, second of all, it doesn't matter. Being prejudiced is still bad. Just stop. So yeah, I believe that. But okay, either way, let's continue.
Care for interracial relationships when it came to children or having children. Okay. And that was something that she was upset about. That was something, like, he did not believe in, he did not want to have a child who was of mixed race. So
what's interesting, though, is that if this is true and she knew this before they had sex, then she knew that he didn't want kids with her, and she was desperate to have kids with him. The way that she made it seem like is that she was desperate to fucking collect his cum and make a baby out of it. She seemed to have some weird fetish to get pregnant by him. Also, Petty Page takes a fucking appearance here.
Hopefully continuously.
Petty Page makes an appearance here saying, hey, Aunt Karen, where's Lance's marriage certificate? Me and my researcher paid to find such certificate did not exist. So where is the receipts? That's a fair question.
Continuously. I hope that she understands that this is about coming forward and giving information, and hopefully, I hope that she's helped as well. Is Lance married? Yes. His marriage license says so.
Well, she's saying that she heard the marriage license, so I wonder. Interesting that Petty Page weighed in on here. Okay.
So even though he likes white women, he did not want to be with he didn't want to be with.
Mamba Gut said, I called Modern Warrior's character from the beginning. I think he's disgusting, and I have absolutely no respect for him. Even before this, he's just straight up Dom and disrespectful. What does that? What does Dom mean? What do you mean by that?
With and he didn't want kids at first, but now he does want kids, and he didn't want kids with a white woman, but he likes to be with white women.
That sounds racist to me. That sounds really racist. What's the motivation for that? That just sounds weird and like racist. Like, I'll fuck white women, but I won't have babies with them. Like, they're beneath you in some capacity. Like, it's one thing to have a preference, or whatever. But like, I don't know, something about what is it about? Is it? I guess it's. I don't know. What is it about? I guess he would argue, well, I want to keep it like pure blood. I don't know, man. It feels like a little bit. It feels a little racist, man. Maybe I'm just. It just feels not right. It just feels not. Oh, he was dominance. Okay, I figured. I just didn't know if there was some other meaning to that. But okay. Mama goes, Chelsea's a dumb woman that got played. I mean, that's true. The red flags were there. He's a giant red flag. Oh, fuck. Okay, listen. I'm not saying he's a red flag because he's native. Okay, it's just a saying. All right. Anyway,
I believe that he's very misogynistic.
Yeah,
I believe that he utilized his entire platform.
A little sus, a little race kink, maybe. What do you think he says? You think he's like, oh, I want to colonize. I'm gonna oppress that pussy or something. You know, I'm gonna reverse the oppression on that pussy.
On the backs of pretending to not be that way, and it really bothered me. And so I stepped away and I stopped being friends with him.
So can we just acknowledge that this is the proof that I was saying all along? None of these people, and when I say these people, I mean most people in the commentary community in general. Oh, Jesus Christ. They can't speak for more than 15 seconds without being like borderline unintelligible. Like, what are you saying? First of all, yeah, you really should be producing the marriage certificate as like an objective truth. Now, it seems like Modern Warrior may have been cheating if he has a girlfriend. I don't know if he had one before or not. I don't know if he was poly. What it sounds like possibly is that he was in a relationship with this girl and she was okay with the polyamorousness. Is that a word? Whatever. And then Lance lied to the other women, which is still really shitty and misogynistic. But again, like the long form, I mean, this isn't exactly compelling, you know? Why not make this like a YouTube video? You know what I'm saying? Or something. Yeah, I could have swore I heard that he was married as well, but I think that a lot of people have been questioning this. So the thing is people say that he's married, and then a lot of people question it. And I don't know, nobody is able to produce information. She said at some point that she saw the marriage certificate. She alluded to it. So you should be able to be like, well, here's the marriage certificate. You could find it here. I don't know if it is or isn't true. You know, we're going to operate under the assumption that it might be true, but we're not going to take it as a fact. So, but yeah, man, I feel like a lot of these content creators, they really can't sit down for more than 15 seconds and actually talk in any way that's like digestible. Nobody really cares. That's kind of the reality for most people. Commentary community on TikTok, a very shallow community. They really just can't operate beyond a certain point.
When I realized how misogynistic and how much of a liar he was. So I believe women. And I see that the only people who are falling on the sword for this incident are women. And people can say that I backstabbed him, but you guys don't really understand the story. And I'm hoping that people understand.
So explain it to us better.
And that I was backstabbed and I was lied to, and I tried to defend a friend from the cruelest of racists that you possibly can talk to.
Who's that?
Tried to defend him, and I sat on lives, and many of you were there on those lives when I sat there and I spoke about the issues. And I just said, I remember saying so many times, he would never treat women badly. He would never, I could trust him with my drink anytime. Like,
well, okay, relax with that. Trust him with my fucking drink? All right, relax. He's not, I don't think he's a fucking rapist. I mean, the guy is a scumbag, but the trust you with your drink thing, what an inflammatory thing to say. Like, what you're, like, listen, I don't know. This is the thing. It's possibility number one. She might be using that as just a general prescriptor, because now some people maybe, and this is being very generous to her, some people maybe just use that as like, oh, I trust you as a man. Or two, she's alluding to the fact that he might be a rapist. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, do you think he's gonna fucking drug you? Like, you know, or maybe it's a middle ground where it's like, I'd just rather not, you know? Now, me personally, you can't trust me with your drink because I will drink it. All right? If you leave it, if it's called a 5-second rule, okay? I will drink I'm gonna drink your drink after I spiked it, so I'm actually gonna spike myself, and I end up passing out. Weird joke, but anyway, let's move on.
I remember saying,
what the fuck is this filter? I think people pay to put filters like this on her. What the fuck is this?
these things. I remember standing
Very sussy baka. Very kawaii, Aunt Karen.
on live and saying, like, he would never just, he respects women. He would never treat a woman this way. He would never do that. And then I slowly started to see the cracks. And I started to realize that maybe that wasn't the exact truth. I know a lot of people worried about my involvement. But the reason, and it seemed like, of course, to a lot of people that it was just a whole, the switcheroo, but it wasn't. There was a lot of pain and anger from trying to protect somebody who didn't protect me as a friend when they lied to me about being married, lied to me about their relationships, and while I tried to defend them against people who claimed that they were being harassed or being hurt by this person. So that's the truth that I have.
Damn, how much money did they make fucking sitting on live stream jerking themselves off? Holy moly.
And I wanted you guys to know it. I wanted to share it because I'm sick of being dragged and him allowing me to be dragged.
It's so ironic. It's so funny. The individuals in the cancel culture commentary content creator space, that was a lot of C's. Holy. Cancel culture commentary content creator space. Wow. That was good. I did it twice in a row. That's a tongue twister. They really cannot take the fucking heat. Let me tell you something, how shallow people are. There was a content creator who one time, they saw that a mutual of mine, and I had a lot of mutuals because I followed like a lot of people back. A lot of people I followed were from Twitch because like I was like, it was like, oh, follow back reward. Well, this is when I had my main account. And somebody said, look at the follower you have. Look at this thing that this person's saying. And what that person was basically saying was something dumb about the N-word. They were like, I don't know, who cares? The N-word's just a word. Anybody should use it. So that person called me out and said, you really agree with this? Because somehow, because I'm a mutual, somebody means I agree with everything they fucking say, right? So I was like, okay. And I took the bait. I responded. I said, I don't agree with that. I said, first of all, I don't think white people should really be engaging in who should and shouldn't be saying the N-word, right? Then I said, second of all, which, you know, I've had my own dumb fucking things that I've said in the past. Like, that was one point where I said something really stupid. It was like, if black people want white people to stop using the N-word, then they should stop using it, which is obviously very ignorant. Mostly because I'm like, hey, black people, it's your fault for being called the N-word. Really dumb shit. Like I said, I've had my moments of not particularly intelligent takes, and, you know, I'd say that that's at the very least racial ignorance. Anyway, so I responded. I say, no, first of all, white people shouldn't be involved in the conversation about what, you know, who should and shouldn't use the word. Second of all, white people shouldn't be using the word regardless. And then I said, and then I got pragmatic and I was like, but if you're going to use it, like if you're going to sing it in a song, you know, comes on a popular rap song by Childish Gambino, don't post it. You know, if you're going to sing it in your car by yourself, you do you, but don't be antagonistic about it. They'll go on the internet and posting it. And then I said that there are some white people that have like the past. There's some white people that grow up in particular areas and they can say it, whatever. That's really not my business. So this individual, what they decided to do, now you might disagree with that take, but it's pragmatic and you can see where I'm coming from. Basically, you shouldn't be saying it, but if you're going to, don't be antagonistic about it. This individual, what they decided to do was they cut it up and made it seem like I said it was okay to say the N-word. So it's like you really cannot ever be relieved of being like assassinated if you're a large content creator. And you want to know who did that to me? This stupid fuck. So it's so funny that you're like, oh, guys, you don't understand the modern world. You're crying about people not understanding your perspective, which seems to be kind of fucking dumb. But you did the same fucking bullshit. You did the same petty fucking bullshit. All right, you're just feeling the squeeze now, girl. You're feeling the squeeze. You're feeling the squeezy. And you brought it on yourself. This is the energy you've put into the universe. And now the universe is collecting. The universe is collecting. Okay? You put this energy back out, you know, and it's coming back to you. The universe is ebbs and flows. There's rocks and gems and selenite crystals, and they're here, and they're hitting you with the nay-nay. Wait, this is the whip, and then this is the nay-nay. They're hitting you. Oh, well, don't say that. They're hitting you with the nay-nay. They're not hitting you with the whip, because that would be racist. Okay, hitting you with the nay-nay. Although the universe is black. I think if you ever looked into space, very dark. So I guess it wouldn't be racist. It's still wrong. You shouldn't, do that. Anyway, moving on.
They were being harassed or being hurt by this person. So that's the truth that I have. And I wanted you guys to know it. I wanted to share it because I'm sick of being dragged and him allowing me to be dragged because he knows that he doesn't want to really talk about the true issues. Having sex with multiple women, sometimes days after, without protection, not only is hurtful to himself, but is also hurtful to those women.
Well, who cares? Specifically, like none of that really matters necessarily. What matters is that like he was swearing that he wasn't talking to other girls or sleeping with other girls, and it's turned out he was. That's the problem, right? Like you can consensually go like, "Hey, fuck me, my pussy without a condom," which is what they did. They did it under the presumption, or rather the expression from him that he was single. That's the problem, right? That doesn't make it sexual assault, but it makes it wrong. It's a bad thing still. That's the biggest issue.
And that's true misogyny, true lies that people don't really understand, that many things can be true at once.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody understands.
Those hands kind of went for her boobs. You saw that? It's so hard to rewind. Look at this.
And I hope everybody understands that I said and I've done things, and I apologize for a lot of those things. But what I won't...
What are those? You got to be specific about the things you've done wrong. You can't just make general apologies because they come off very, very shallow and very dishonest. You need to be specific about what you're apologizing for.
Apologize for is watching a man be even more misogynistic, continuously utilize women and push a narrative that they're innocent in all of this when that's not true. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. I will turn on the comments now.
Wow, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Yeah. So what is this? Yeah, I can finally take a break I needed to take from you, Amanda, for speaking the truth. We ever see some longer, whatever. Who doesn't matter. Yeah, so there you go. The recap. My wife is standing at the door like a villain or some kind of a horror character from a Japanese horror story, staring at me with wide open eyes and just dead blank fucking stare. Psychotic shit. Let me tell you something to end this video off. This morning I got up, my wife got up, now I was tired, I was in a groggy state, and I walked to the bathroom, but you know how when you're tired, you walk there, you don't really know how you got there. I'm sitting there peeing with my eyes closed, I opened them up, my wife's right next to me, didn't hear her come in, I didn't even feel the shift in the wind, I did feel a presence, but it wasn't anything that I can understand why. I can only assume that it's my sixth sense, that I opened my eyes and turned, and I was terrified, but I wasn't the kind of terrified that caused me to jump, I was the type of terrified that caused me to freeze. My wife could have killed me right there, and I would never have known, so yeah. Hey, baby. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.